Autumn and fall, heading up to Christmas. Yes, I said it, heading up to Christmas. It's my favourite time. I absolutely love these kind of makeup looks. So we're kickstarting it today with a more like caramel, rich brown, all matte eye. Pretty much all matte, to be fair. I've only applied like a little bit of highlighter and a really nice like dark brown lip, so I really hope you like it. Let me know if you do down in the comments, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you do like it, and subscribe as well. And if you want to see how we got this whole caramel chocolate inspired makeup, then keep watching. Finally arrived at my favourite time of year. I've been so excited to film my first autumn/fall. Let me know what you say, fall or autumn. I feel like I'm British, so I need to say autumn because that's what we say, but I like to call it fall as well. So yeah, fall/autumn makeup tutorial. I was going to do one last week, but we had summer again in the UK. I don't know where it came from. It was so hot and sunny, and I didn't really think it was the right time. But today it's the complete opposite. It's cold, it's gloomy, it's grey, it's also raining really bad. And it's a perfect day to just sit and be cosy and film a nice fall/autumn makeup tutorial. This one's just going to be like a nice chilled makeup tutorial. I've got my cup of tea. I've also got biscuits. I've got the malted milks out because you can't have a cup of tea without a biscuit as well. And I want to do something like quite inspired by this top. So really caramel, like nice chocolatey browns. And yeah, I'm so excited. I've got a really dark brown like lip to wear as well, which I've not worn before. I've already done my brows as usual, but I don't actually know what I've done to them today because I don't feel like they look like they usually do. I know they shouldn't be twins. I don't even think that these are sisters today. I think they're like long distance cousins or something. They just, I don't know, they don't look like they usually do. But let's just ignore that. I'm going to start with eyes, but just before I do that, I'm just going to spray my face with some of the Dario, oh my gosh, how many seconds into the video and I already cannot speak? The Mario Badescu, the aloe vera facial spray. Just to give me a bit of a freshen up. And then as usual, I'm just going to use a bit of the P. Louise base. I use the shade 2, which is Broomer. So I'm going to first just carve out my brow with like a flat brush. Try and neaten them up a little bit. And then with a more fluffy brush, I'm just going to tap a little bit of that on. I'm just going for more of a sheer layer today because I'm not going to be applying too much eyeshadow. Just come in a little bit closer just so you can see my eyes a little bit better. Let me know if that helps you out because I never know whether you want to see like more up close of the eyes or whether you can see it fine the way I usually film it. So yeah, let me know. Eyeshadows, I've got loads of different palettes today, only because when I was looking for shades to wear, I didn't have them all in one palette. So I've got a couple to choose from. So I'm going to use a couple of shades out of the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I also have the Dose of Colours Sassy Siennas. And then I've also got the Kylie bronze palette, which I only think I need one shade out of there. I'm also thinking keeping this quite matte again today because I don't do a lot of matte makeup. My last makeup look was also quite matte but with like really glowy skin. It was like an Instagram model inspired makeup, so I'll leave that linked in this corner to go watch that. It's like one of my favourite makeups to wear. So I want this to be like really caramel, like rich browns. I'm going to first go in with the Jaclyn palette and I'm going to use this shade here. I'm not sure what it's called because I never got the shade names with mine, but it's just like that really rich sort of like caramel colour. Just going straight into my crease with this. It's such a nice like transition shade. It's really rich, but it's not like the usual transition shades that I go for. I usually go for like quite neutral shades, whereas this is quite yellowy and undertone, but it's really pretty. So who else is really excited for this time of year? I think autumn is one of my favourites, not because of the weather, because I'm always freezing cold, so the weather is, I'm not a fan, but I do just love wearing like really nice thick cozy jumpers, and I love all the colours of like the autumn leaves and everything. I prefer it much more than summer. I always feel like I don't struggle with outfits in the autumn because I mean I can just wear cozy jumpers and it looks fine, whereas in the summer I feel like I have to actually think about what I'm wearing. So that's it for now for that shade in that palette. I'm going to move on to Sassy Siennas from Dose of Colours. I'm going to concentrate more on that middle shade, which is Foxy, and then the very end one, which is like a really dark, rich brown. And when you read the names off the back of the palettes, please in the comments let me know like what order they go in. So this one is either Stay Sassy or Oh So Sassy, but I never know like on the back if it mirrors the shades in here like from the back, or whether like you turn it around and that's how you look at it in the palette. I don't know. Please let me know because I've always wanted to know. So the first one I'm going to take is that middle brown, and I'm just going to darken up, got a hair on me, darken up my crease a little bit with this one. And because I've gone a shade darker, I'm not going to blend it up as far, so I want you to still be able to see that caramel tone as my transition shade. So I'm just going to darken up my crease and then pop a little bit onto my lid as well. Okay, then just on like a bigger fluffy brush, I'm just going to take a little bit more of the first shade. And I'm just going to go over the edges again with this because I don't want to lose that colour at all, because that's like my one sort of caramelly shade that I'm using. So just to darken up the outer corner a little bit, I'm going to go in with that end shade from the Dose of Colours palette. It's a really nice like dark rich brown, and I always think that dark browns are really hard to come by, like sometimes they can just be a little bit too red. So I'm just going to pat this on my outer lid and then just into mainly like the outer third of my crease. Okay, so same on this. I'm just sort of patting it on, so really build it up, make it nice and rich, and then once all of the product is pretty much off my brush, that's when I'll go into the crease and just blend it sort of 2/3 of the way in. And then if you need to blend out any lines, I'll just take like a bigger fluffy brush and use that. And then for my lid colour, I'm going to use a different palette. I'm so sorry that I've used like loads of different palettes, but I just haven't got them all in one. So from the Kylie bronze palette, I'm going to take that sort of bone coloured shade because I want it light, but I don't want it to be like shimmery. So I'm going to take this for my inner corner onto my lid, and then I'll use one of the other shades that we used earlier just to blend the light into the dark. So I'll pop it here, then tap it all out, and then I'll pop something in between the light and the dark just to help them blend a little bit. But I do really like doing this because don't always think that to highlight you need to use something shimmery. This will work exactly the same as a highlighter, but it's just not shimmery, it's matte. So taking the medium shade that we used, so that one in the middle of the Dose of Colours palette, I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm just going to tap over where those two meet, right on the edge of that really dark shade. I'm just going to swirl off my brush onto my trousers to clean it, and then I'll just take a little bit of that caramel shade from the Jaclyn palette and then just a tiny bit of that over the top. Okay, so I think that is pretty much it for the tops of the eyes. I absolutely love this. I'm really enjoying sticking to more matte colours as well. I think it still looks really effective without using like anything shimmery. I love it. So we can apply mascara and lashes now, which I'm going to do off camera because they always take me so long and I feel like my videos are getting longer and longer because I don't stop talking. So for mascara, I'm going to use the Volume Colorist mascara from Rimmel. And then for lashes, I've got these, which are just some random ones. They are Brit Rocks Vintage from Perfect Girl London, I think. They're not anything too dramatic, they're just nice and like wispy, winged out in the outer corner. So my lashes are on and I'm glad I did them off camera because they didn't go to plan like I knew they wouldn't. We can move on to foundation now. So I'm going to use one that I haven't used for ages, which is the Makeup Forever HD foundation, and this one is in the shade Y255, so I'm going to give it a good shake, and I have actually tanned for once this time, so I'm hoping that this is going to be an okay match. I know this isn't the most full coverage of foundations, but I can always go over with a bit of concealer if I need more coverage. So I'm just going to start pouncing that in with my sponge. And I treated myself to a new one because I was just at that stage where it wasn't gonna come clean now. So for autumn this year, I've got a lot of tutorials in mind that I want to do, but if there's anything in particular that you want to see, then let me know, because also you may not like to hear it, but it is gonna be like the roll up to Christmas soon. So we're gonna have lots of Christmas tutorials. You may not like to hear the word, but it is coming. So it will come quicker than you think it will as well. Okay, so I'm happy with that for now. We can move on to concealer. We're going to use my usual, well, I'm going to use two concealers. I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution one first just to add a little bit more coverage and to conceal under my eyes, and then I'm going to use a different one to highlight. So just going underneath my eyes with this. And then I have a nice breakout on my chin, which can go away. And then just around my nose as well. And then just a little bit here. So I just take the same sponge and just start patting it in. And I haven't decided what to do with my under eyes. I might just mimic like what I've already done on the top, make it a little bit smokier. Okay, and then just to highlight, mainly in my inner corners, I think. Oh, I need to tell you what I'm using. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix in NC25. So it just brightens me up just in this very inner corner. Okay, so let's set this now. I'm going to use the RCMA No Colour Powder. I'm just going to set mainly like down the centre, and then I'm going to use a different powder today to set the rest of my face. Okay, then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Urban Decay, the Naked Ultra Definition Loose Finishing Powder. Again, I've not used this for ages, but I absolutely love it. This one is in the shade Light Medium. So I usually just empty a little bit into the cap, and then I'll just kind of swirl and tap, and then just tap this on. Now I'm just going to contour a little bit. I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'm going to mix those two end ones right there. So I'm just going to take this into my contour area, and then I'm going to buff it up onto my cheeks a little bit as well, because I do like to contour / bronze at the same time. And I mainly do just around my forehead and my cheeks. Usually I will cream bronze as well, but I don't really feel like it today. And then for bronzer, I have my Urban Decay Beach Bronzer, which is my favourite, and I might use another one as well, but I'm not sure yet. So I'll just kind of tap this on, mainly onto my cheeks, and then back into my contour. And then for my blusher, I'm going to use this palette. This is the Saharan blush palette from Juvias Place. And I'm just going to, these are super pigmented, so we don't need a lot. I'm going to mix, hold up this way, that sort of it's kind of like a bronzer-y shade. One is quite corally, but I don't want it to be sort of too corally, so I'm hoping that one will just tone it down a little bit. I'm just going to tap into both of them and just pop a little bit onto my cheeks. So for the under eyes, I'm first going to go back into the bone coloured eyeshadow that we used first. I'm just going to quickly go into my inner corner again, because I feel like I maybe gone over this with my concealer. So I'll just brighten up my inner corners again with that one. And then I'll also just take a little bit, instead of doing a highlighted brow, I'll just pop a little bit of this one. So it's highlighted, but again, it's matte and it's not shimmery. And then with the same brush, we're going to go in with that very first transition shade, so the one out of the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I'm going to run this all underneath my eye to that highlighted inner corner. And I'm going to blend this down quite far because it's quite a light shade, so we can get away with that, and it'll hide my under eye creases a little bit. So next I'm going to go into the medium brown out of this palette, and I'm still on the same brush, and I'm just going to keep this closer to the lash line, and I'm only keeping this to like the outer corner. Can't decide whether to go in my waterline with anything yet. I'm just going to go in my waterline with this Barry brown pencil. And then I'm taking the very darkest brown and just putting this like into the roots of my lashes, just on the very outer corner. I picked the Doll Beauty highlighter, and I'm going to use that golden shade there on the high points, and then I do like to go on to my cheeks a little bit with this as well. Go for subtle highlight, if we can do that. Can't usually, I usually go in way too much with the highlighter. Now for lips, I found this really dark, like rich brown liquid lipstick from L'Oreal. This is in the shade 857, which I think is 70% Yum, but this collection like all smells of chocolate. It literally smells like chocolate cake, it's insane. So I haven't got a lip liner which matches, so I was thinking of using my eyeliner as my lip liner, and I don't really know how this is going to go, so we can just see. But I did like test it on my hand, and it is kind of like a similar colour, so I'm going to use my Barry M Bold Waterproof eyeliner. I'm only going to use a tiny bit, just want to outline my lips, that's all. So then now I'm going to do the lipstick, but I am going to put it on the back of my hand first because it is really dark, and I'm going to use a lip brush to apply it just so I can be a little bit more precise with it. So guys, that completes my first fall/autumn makeup tutorial of the season. Let me know what else you want to see over the next few weeks. I've got loads of ideas, but let me know what you guys think as well. I really hope you liked it. If you did, then give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as well. And I will see you in my next one. Bye!